Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Guilford Select Board of January 13th. Good evening, everyone. And to recognize the public. And we have no public. Danny's not the public. He's the highway commissioner. And the rules of procedure, even though there aren't any public here, are on the table, and they discuss how the select board and the public interact with each other at a select board meeting. Are there any additions to the agenda?
I do have one addition that you folks, I have an answer to one of your questions from the last meeting, and it then requires you folks to take some action, and the action is required by Thursday of this week.
Okay, thank you.
So that is regarding the WRC Broadband Feasibility Grant.
Okay. Are there any changes to the agenda order?
I haven't any.
Very well. Have you all read the minutes, and may I ask for a motion to approve them?
I shall move.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
And is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Oh,
because
we
I
have
was
one
not in
abstention.
attendance.
Thank you, Gordon. And thank you. The motion is approved. Highway general update, Dan.
Well, we've been doing some plowing, been doing a lot of sand and salting. When you guys go through your budget tonight, you'll see I do have some money left for sand and some money left for salt.
Good.
Right now, my shed's probably, I'm gonna say 2/3 full. The salt shed is pretty much full right now, but that is not gonna last long. But I'm hoping that we still got another 2 months of winter to go yet, so it's gonna be nip and tuck on the budget as far as material wise. Today we hauled some gravel because we had a few soft spots here and there. And over the weekend, the temperatures warmed up and had a few places we got some soft spots, and we got everywheres around except for your road, Gordon, and Packers Corners Road.
Hey, if you're going to leave us somewhere, that's good.
So,
Take care of the important people.
yeah, but anyways, it's that time of year you get these quick warm-ups, and you're gonna have them spots that's gonna break through a little bit. But one good thing about the weather this weekend, I got rid of we had a lot of ice coverage on the roads, and we got rid of a lot of it, so that helped out a lot.
Great. Is that it?
Yeah, everything else, all the equipment's been holding up good. You know, just everybody's been busy, so just been one of them winters.
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
On to new business, and the center piece of our meeting tonight is the FY21 budget.
Yes, so since we have this fancy equipment, we're gonna allow the public to follow along. I'm going to pass a hard copy out to select board members.
Mr. Chair, do you mind if I just try something?
Oh, no, there are
quick
plenty
here?
here coming. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, I'm just trying to, I'm sliding it that way a little bit, because it gets some of the wave out of that. I think I can zoom in though.
That'd be good.
All right, so
So would you recommend I zoom in on the?
Yes, on the budget.
Okay.
we will be starting, I apologize about my voice, we will be starting with the general budget for the select board. The portion, just to be clear so the listening audience doesn't get bored out of their mind, we will not be reading every single line item except for the revenue, which was just finalized today. So starting on page 1 at the top, the general tax revenue that is estimated for select board expenses is $442,376. An additional amount for social service.
Wait,
Wait.
that's the 19 budget.
Nope.
Say it again?
Look at the
433,
no,
yeah.
look in the dark colored line on the screen. It's the pink line.
Oh,
FY21.
This isn't right.
Yeah, this isn't correct.
Oh, this one wasn't, these were printed out before it was updated.
So shall we follow along on the
Why
screen?
don't you follow along on the screen?
Okay.
Yes, because the screen is the correct one.
On the revenue side, the expense side should be okay, right?
The expense
Okay.
side has not changed.
Okay.
So Penny and I went through this and she double checked and agreed that it is correct. So the general revenue is $442,376 for all select board expenses. Social service agency expenses is $24,880.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, you're saying expenses, but do you mean?
Sorry, revenue. So the revenue here covers the expenses for the social service agencies. So this is revenue that will be generated through taxes. So then we have what we call our transfers out and special articles. So that we will cover the details of what those, you'll see them later on, but those expenses include the fire department, Windham Regional Commission, Rescue Inc., and other similar type services that are provided.
So these two lines that we have on the hard copy are the same as on there?
Okay, then, yep. We never budget for any surplus taxes. The town treasurer estimates approximately $12,468 in interest to be collected on delinquent taxes. Delinquent tax penalty is not calculated because that amount goes to the treasurer and assistant treasurer. And then insurance credits are not calculated either because we generally don't have any. So the general overall revenue to be brought in for the select board is $988,215. Moving on, we have the delinquent tax fees. Was there a question?
No, I was just gonna comment that to, I guess, simplify things. The 988,215 is what the select board in the town is responsible for from a tax standpoint of generating.
That's correct.
Excluding anything to do with our school system.
That's correct.
Thank you.
We do not account for any delinquent tax income. As most people know, the town provides some financial services for Algiers Fire District over in Algiers, and that the contract we have with them is for $8,500. So that accounts for staff time and some minimal resources that we need to do that job. We take in a small amount of revenue for licenses and permits. That includes a liquor and tobacco license of $90 at the country store, dog licenses of approximately $1,400, and that is all for those. Getting towards the end here, we do get reimbursed by the state for the reduction in taxes for those who are part of the current use program, so that is estimated to be $86,580 this year. In the pilot program, pilot stands for payment in lieu of taxes, so that is on any state-owned property within the town of Guilford, and so $18,600 is the amount that they pay us instead of paying property taxes. Moving on, the town clerk has an assortment of fees that are charged. I'm not going to go through all of these one by one because
We don't have to.
we don't have to. So the total amount to be brought in for revenue from the town clerk is $20,660. We are not yet estimating any permit fees for the floodplain. We are estimating approximately $3,000 in general interest earned for a total amount of revenue of $1,127,045.
Let's see, 1127045.
So the key thing to take away here is the $1,127,045 you will find should equal the total in expenses, because we do our best not to raise any more in revenue than we incur in expenses, because this is a municipality, not a business. So when we get to the end of the expenses category, you should hopefully see that that matches.
So compared to last year, we're bringing in $38,000 less?
Yes, because our expenses, as you will soon find out, have gone down.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. So that means taxes this year for the town side of expenses, or the
Correct.
select board expenses, are actually going down a small amount. Moving on, so this is a very large category here called the select board expenses. There are many things that fall within this.
Can you hand me that?
So, select board members, for those of you who were at the final budget meeting in December, all of these numbers are the same from that budget meeting. So this includes pay, insurance of various forms, expenses for the office, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, legal fees. So getting to the bottom of this total category has expenses budgeted for or proposed for FY21 to be $250,336. As you can see, I've highlighted there. And this is
Yes, this is wrong.
Yeah, this is not,
Yeah.
it's again, this says 223, 503.
And that's due to some changes in the health insurance.
So the actual number is 250,336?
That is correct. The next category is for the town treasurer, including the treasurer and assistant treasurer's salary and other expenses. That will be $53,797.
That one's right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same as,
In the select board expenses, there was Penny noticed.
Can we slide back to that, because it would show on the,
Yep. So there was obviously the one increase in this area is for which voters approved last year, was for the mowing of the playscape. So that's $3,000.
where's that line? What line is that?
That's line 87, so it is number.
Maintenance grounds?
Correct,
68.1.
68.01. There was this increase that you, select board members approved for the emergency management budget, and then there was the increase for health insurance.
But it's still less than compared to last year, right?
correct.
That
The
is correct.
expense is $12,000 or so less?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct. So while there were some increases in this category, it was an improvement. So
I think so.
the treasurer, there was a slight increase due to pay
So,
increases.
just to go back to that again,
Yes.
what is the decrease in the expense what is creating the difference there, the 12,000? I mean, but not line by line, but just the conglomerate.
Yes, so we had several of the other categories, such as heating and others that
That went
decreased.
down,
Yeah.
okay.
And is that because of the new heating system?
That's correct,
Oh,
as well
good.
as other changes to the building that you folks made. We also made reductions in building maintenance, et cetera, due to the changes when not needing to have to do those repairs for a number of years into the future.
Well, that's
A good
news
investment.
for our whole town.
So the treasurer, there's a slight increase, as you can see, that is due to cost of living increases that are being proposed. The Board of Civil Authority, we actually have a decrease of $2,600 for a total proposed budget of $1,600. And here's the category we were discussing previously, the transfers out. So this includes setting aside funds to repair the Green River Covered Bridge in 25 years' time. The capital fund, the water line, records preservation, and that's it. So that is budgeted for $265,000, which has been level funded for the past 4 or 5 years. Next is the auditors. This is also level funded, so this includes wages for the town auditors, the training, et cetera, et cetera. So this is level funded with last year at $22,850. The next major category is for the listers. Similar to the previous categories for the town treasurer, town clerk, includes wages as well as other fees that they incur. There's been, due to shifting around there, we actually have an overall decrease in the listers category, a decrease of $3,428 for a total expenses of $34,471. Next, we have the town clerk category. There's a slight increase here, one because Marta was hired last year, and then with the proposed salary increases for cost of living, there's an increase of $5,095 for a grand total of $68,497 in that category.
Not the increase, but the total.
Yes, the total, that is correct. For our next category, we've got the delinquent tax administration. These are all the expenses that the town treasurer needs to collect delinquent taxes. So this money is very well spent. It's level funded over last year at $6,600. Floodplain administration also level funded for the past several years at $500. Planning Commission is level funded at $1,000. That actually is, you guys did state $1,000, however, last year was actually budgeted at $1,500, so it's actually a decrease of $500 that you folks requested this year.
Wasn't that because of we had the additional expense for the book?
That's correct.
And we don't have that this year?
That's correct. The Conservation Commission is requesting a decreased amount as well over the last year, so they're asking for $2,500 this year, a decrease of $500. The Recreation Commission is asking for a slight increase of that math is
Not right.
not right. That should be $661. So there's an increase of $661. And when they presented this to the select board at the last select board meeting, it was primarily due to the increased popularity of their events and needing additional supplies for those events across town.
And so they should have resubmitted the budget with more itemization than they had shown us. That's what we asked for.
You had, and that was not received yet. So
Maybe you want to send them
I will follow up with the Recreation Commission for a more detailed breakdown of their budget request. Law enforcement, since we have not been able to find a constable for the past year and a half, the select board has removed those expenses from this category. So the only expense in that category is the law enforcement services, which we receive from the Vermont State Police.
Perhaps it would be prudent here to say that we are looking for a constable, and if anybody is interested in not volunteering, but...
Correct. It would be a paid
in that
position.
paid position, please let us know.
And we do have funds in other places to pay an individual who wishes to be the constable.
Is there a job description for the constable
There
on our
is.
website?
It's not on the website, but someone could contact me and get it from me. The next section is the pound keeper So this is for the Pound Keeper as well as for our agreement with Windham County Humane Society and all associated costs, which has had a overall deduction of $480. Again, because the town has been looking for a dog officer for the past year and a half. We are still looking for a dog officer, so anyone who may be interested, please contact me. For the time being, the select board has decided to reduce those fees from the budget.
But they could be put back in if we had a dog officer.
That is correct. Next major category is health officer. Again, level funded for the past several years at $150. Next category is the solid waste meetings. This accounts for our annual assessment to be a member of Windham Solid Waste, as well as to have someone be the select board's appointed representative and account for their travel expenses and other things they incur. That is going to be $14,928. We are getting closer to the end here, folks. So
Yeah, we're on cemeteries.
here we are on cemeteries. The Cemetery Commission
It's closer to the end.
is requesting level funding of $7,700. Here's one of the really big positive notes that the select board would like to touch on is after March of this year, so after March of fiscal year 20, we will have paid off the fire department bond and interest. And so there's going to be a reduction of $53,058 from the select board budget.
I thought you were going to say there's going to be a party.
Under the fire warden section, which is next,
When you say that there's a reduction there, you don't mean a reduction, you mean compared to last year?
compared to last year, yes.
Because the 53,000 was, we paid 53,000 last year, we're not paying it this year.
We're not paying it in the budget.
It's not going to be included in the budget.
For next year.
For next year,
right.
because we have, after March, we will have paid that debt off.
Yeah.
And so it does not, we no longer need to budget for that.
But it's not a real, what I'm getting at is it's not a real reduction.
No, it is. We do not have to raise $53,058 in taxes for it.
Yeah. That's what I wanted you to say.
Okay. The fire warden, technically, the fire wardens could submit an invoice for all of the fire permits that they issue. They have not done so for many, many years, and at the time being, the select board has reduced that from the budget. Should they decide to do so in the future, we will cross that bridge when we get to it. But
So
we
we
have-
should officially thank the fire warden for doing
Wardens,
this.
we have two.
That's right. For providing that valuable service for us.
Agreed.
So the next section is annual services to the town. This includes Windham Regional Commission, Green Up Day, the Vermont League of Cities and Towns, Rescue Inc., county taxes, and a few other things, Brook Community Center. This category has the overall slight, why is that math? Let's just ignore the delta column because that's slightly off. In several of the categories, there's a few minor expenses. However, for the Guilford handbook, we have a reduction in expenses of $3,500 because we will not be printing out copies in the upcoming fiscal year. That will be done in the current fiscal year. So that's local public services is the fire department, and as the fire department proposed at the last select board meeting, they are proposing an increase of $8,387 in their budget this year for a total of $238,450.
As I recall, it was mostly an increase in the cost of building maintenance, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had a few other increases that Gordon and I were looking at prior to the meeting. So that included Their membership dues for some things were going up.
Yeah, it looked like, because I wasn't at the meeting and I asked Peter to just summarize for me. Increase in communications, increase in dues and subscriptions, increase in removal, rubbish removal. The fire district had an increase in the cost to them. EMT equipment supplies was a big piece of it, and legal fees. I guess they were audited this year for the first time, so there was an auditor fee.
Wasn't
built
building
into that.
maintenance in there?
And then, what's that?
Building maintenance? I think there
They talked about it, but
These were the bigger items.
Oh.
I mean, in a computer was what, these were the big things that I heard, I mean, what we looked at.
Yeah, in the financial document, or the spreadsheet that they submitted to the select board at the last meeting, there was about $1,000 for building maintenance. So it wasn't the largest item.
Okay.
I didn't account for the entire increase with Peter, I just picked up
Yeah,
those. So that would make sense, that, because there was probably the piece where we're missing to bring us to 8,300.
Last but not least, our final category is the social service agencies who do so much great work here in
Well, there's the
town.
library too.
Do we pass that one by?
Yeah.
My apologies. We have got the Guilford Free Library. They have a slight increase of $2,005 due to salary increases and hiring a part-time individual to provide some technical assistance with computers. So their request is $35,005. And now, last but not least, are the social service agencies. And we all know who these are. They are level funded at $24,880 this year. So our grand total of expenses is $1,127,045 for a total decrease this year of $26,781. So after having the past 3 budgets be level funded, this one is a decrease over the previous 3.
Excellent.
Well, I mean, it is, the 53 is coming out of it, so there's some.
There's a little bit of an addition.
But there were several areas in which there were additions, primarily due to salaries. Yep, they're minor.
Well, what I kind of pulled out and looking at the deltas, we have the fire department increase, we have the library increase, which are, not hugely significant, but
So that's $10,000.
Right. And
3% cost of the.
The three-
living
Yeah, it's
adjustment.
mostly salaries.
Yep.
it really,
Can I just ask if we could go to the expenses? I want to just clarify, the first category, the select board expenses, I guess, all of those.
Yep.
There was a note, I thought I heard someone say that this is, what's proposed is a decrease from the previous year, but it's not.
It's an increase of $12,000 in that category,
Okay.
which makes up the difference for what Gordon was just calculating in the increases. So part of the increase was the mowing of the playscape that voters approved last year. Nemrick, the company that provides our software and technical support, increased their fees to us by $1,000 this year. We had, several other minor fees go up. Our technical services, such as our email provider and all of those things, went up. And then emergency management went up, and then salaries is where those costs went to.
Just wanted to be sure that if I heard it incorrectly.
So yes, that was one of the areas that did have a slight increase.
Well, it's 12,605.
That's correct.
with Windham Solid Waste, Peter,
Yes,
is that number, the 14,928 that we've planned,
that is correct.
is that what we've been told?
Yep.
Okay.
So the last time that they presented to us, they gave us amounts for 3 years in a row.
Right.
So that will,
And they've come, I mean, that hasn't changed.
That has not changed.
I just wanted to make sure.
so after next year, I believe they will review again, or anew, their fees for member towns. May change, we don't know. But for the time being, yes, that is what they presented to us previously.
Is there any further discussion?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Go on.
I just need to know what the next steps are, so when, if we were to approve this or tonight, then this is what gets presented to the town?
Yes, we still have to go through the highway budget.
There's still some things to add or
No,
adjust?
this is finished.
Okay.
This is complete. So the 1 million, sorry for the fast scrolling, the $1,127,045 is what will be presented on the warrant. And that actually gets broken down because we have sources of revenue that we reviewed to begin with that are non-taxes. So that number, as in previous years, is actually going to be less than $1 million. So,
Is there a time frame for the select board to
Yes.
approve this budget?
so the select board, that's an excellent question, Gordon. The select board legally has until next Monday to approve the budget to be put on the warrant, as an article on the warrant.
You weren't here last meeting when we
I
decided.
was not.
At last, can I
yeah,
just speak,
yeah.
please? Thank you.
Sure you
At the
can.
last
You're the
meeting,
chair.
just to bring you up to speed, at the last meeting, we, at the last budget workshop, we went through the whole budget, and we agreed that since we had gone through the whole budget, and quite analytically, that we would bring it forward at this meeting to basically approve or not approve it. We'd like to get it expedited
Which I totally
tonight.
support.
Okay,
I'm
good.
not questioning that.
Yeah.
What I don't like is, personally, I don't like looking at something here and looking at something different there
Yeah.
when the categories aren't, jiving. And I like to see the whole thing in its final form to be able to, just understand everything. Some of the numbers jumping around just concern me, and I'm sure they're all fine, and I'm not questioning it, but for me personally, there's a comfort level there.
So the papers you have in your hand I admit it was my mistake. I printed them before I had Penny review them. She noticed that there was an error in the amount for the health insurance. So that was adjusted on the computer. I should have reprinted these so they matched with what are here. That's my fault.
Right, but I don't think that
apologize.
one change, would have finalized this document, and that's my concern. We've made some other changes as we've been going, and
So that was in the deltas, which generally we don't present to the
correct.
public. That's generally for the select board
Right.
to review for your purposes.
So you're confident, excluding the delta column, that the
Yes,
proposed FY21 budget is correct?
yes.
That
I
that
am,
you're showing here?
I am confident in it, and I had Penny review it, and she felt confident in it as well. This is a process we
It
go
was just
through.
I was just voicing.
No,
I
I
wanted to
so
confirm.
I understand your concern, but to me, it's just a matter of that Peter printed out the wrong,
That's fine, if that's,
that he printed out the wrong version.
That's
This is the
correct.
corrected version, and what's mostly incorrect about the version that we have here, there are a few errors in the deltas, mostly.
and if that's what I just clarified.
And
That's
yeah,
fine.
that Richard is absolutely correct, and the deltas they're irrelevant for when it comes to the
I agree.
warrant.
I'm not questioning that part of it.
So my apologies
No,
for giving you guys the wrong document.
And we, in budget workshops, we have gone over all the expense numbers.
That's right.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
those are solid.
Yeah, there's no surprises here that I see.
No, like I said, the only number that changed was up here in the select board, was up here for the health insurance.
It went down a lot from previous years.
It's actually a slight increase of $2,663.
Right, see, that's, yeah. I was looking at
Oh, I
the
see,
reference
because
to
this is the
right.
number that's wrong.
And that's where I was getting confused.
This is the
I see.
number that's right.
This
Yes,
the number.
this is the
Yeah.
number.
Correct.
One that's on the screen is the correct number.
I see.
Can you shoot to the last line again, the total
Yep.
for me?
And so let me just ask, once Gordon's finished, is
No,
that
go
the
ahead,
same
sorry.
number that's at the bottom of the revenue column?
So you can see here that the total expenses is $1,127,045. I will scroll back up so you can see.
It's the same. See, I wrote it in when he said it, 112705.
It's there.
And here is the total revenue to be collected
Okay,
is
It's a match.
a match.
okay.
And the amount that will be presented to residents is on town meeting day is that number right there, 988,215 is what needs to be
What
raised.
needs to be raised in the form of tax?
That's correct.
I see.
So the difference in the amount from other sources of revenue is what the difference between the 112748 is and that number right there.
Okay. Now, sorry, I just have to ask one more question, and that's that, but this entire budget will be available for, or no, it's a report of previous years? What goes into the warning? I forget. Is there a
No,
budget?
The total.
It's just the total number goes into the warning.
warning.
No, okay, but isn't there it
Well,
seems
it's
like
all
a
in
good
the town
font.
report.
It's in the town report.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of these numbers will be in the town report.
But as far as what's in the warning to be raised as a
Correct.
motion or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is
the-
that number?
But
Yes.
the entire
To be
budget
raised by
is-
taxes, the rest is coming
published.
from
So this is,
sources. Yeah.
Resource, revenues.
there's three columns on this spreadsheet that will not be in there. So this column, FY19 budget, actual FY19 expenses, and FY20 budget, and FY21 proposed will all be included, and they have been included for decades.
That's fine, just want to make sure I understand.
The other three columns that we have here are primarily for select board analysis.
Correct. Okay, I'm on board with that.
Do I have a motion to approve the?
Well, let's wait until we, if you don't mind, sir, if we go through the highway budget first.
Oh, sure, let's do that.
And we will do it all
Do
at
we,
one time.
do we do them both at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the
Now,
highway budget.
are we sure that this is the correct version?
Yes, this one is the correct version. So highway is much more abbreviated. The
Dan, did you get one?
No, I didn't, but I can do that right off the top of my head.
You can sit with us if you want, come join us.
Join us.
Oh, we're happy over here.
all right, so general,
Should I zoom in on the screen?
ask Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
General taxes to be raised is, for highway department, is $874,461. We receive $145,000 in state aid to highways as revenue. We are estimating to receive approximately $1,200 in civil fines that comes to us from the Vermont State Police, and approximately $250 in highway interest, for a total proposed revenue to be generated of $1,020,911.
Which is up by 23,000.
This is correct. And we will touch on the expenses. So the highway fund expenses, so this is similar to the select board budget. This is where we have wages and insurance, retirement, workers' compensation. So without reading through every line by line, you'll see there's a slight increase in wages, which also thus causes an increase in retirement. There's, as you can see, we have a fairly substantial increase in health insurance for the highway department. And then all the other remaining line items, or most of them, are level funded.
What is what constitutes the $10,000 increase in health insurance?
Primarily because we've added an additional person
That's what I
to the
thought.
road crew. So we now have 6 people on the road crew
Yeah.
instead of 5.
Which was
And-
planned.
Which was planned, but that does cause an increase in health insurance. And also included in that increase in the health insurance is an increase in our premiums this year. Although the increase in premiums is less than it was last year. And then last but not least, we have increased, due to the whole emerald ash borer situation and the needing to start dealing with that, we've increased the tree removal budget line by $2,000. So the overall increase for the highway fund is $15,615 for a total of $480,396. Follow
What's
up.
the comment started outside of the field there? That says,
Just, we can, that's for later on at town meeting
Town
day.
meeting to talk about this salvage.
Yep,
So the proposed is 48,000.
480,396.
Which is up 15,
That's correct.
and that's mostly due to the medical insurance.
That's correct. The medical insurance and wages.
Wages, right.
Next is the road resurfacing that is level funded at $130,000. Next, we move on to winter expenses, which include winter wages, sand, and salt. There is an increase in this primarily due to an increase in the cost of sand.
Peter,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, can we go just back right to the front here? We have no grants that we're anticipating for the highway?
Not this year, unfortunately, because we, in the past 2 fiscal years, we have been very successful in the grants that we have been able to get for the highway department, which unfortunately, the way that our state does it for highway grants is once you receive them,
You have to
you
wait.
drop down to the bottom of the list. So for 2 of the grants we received this year, we have a 5-year waiting list now that we have to, till we get eligible for the next round. And then 1 grant, it's a 10-year waiting list before we next become eligible for it. So,
Thank you for making that clear.
as we discussed recently, we can say, however, that in the past fiscal year, we've had the highest amount of grant revenue that the town has seen. So
Been very positive.
it's been very positive overall for the budget.
Just have to wait a while now.
So the winter budgeting section went up by $5,819 for a total of $210,515. The highway department has annual expenses for the various bridges across town. This budget has been level funded for several years now at $68,500. Because of Act 64, we now have what are called the municipal roads general permit fees. They have been gradually increasing over the past 3 years, and this coming year they will, for the total $2,500. And then last but, or sorry, not last, we've got the town garage expenses, which includes the operating expenses to maintain the garage and have a space for all the road crew to work. We've got, primarily due to the additional road crew members, safety equipment expenses have gone up by $500, and due to other additional expenses unrelated to employees, building maintenance has gone up by $500 for a total of $34,000 for that general category. Last but not least, we have the town equipment. This is all exactly what it says, and this category has been level funded at $95,000 with last year, for a grand total of $1,020,911, which you can see equals the amount under the revenue to be generated.
Dan, any comments?
No, I'm happy with it. You guys are happy.
Looks good to me.
So of the increase, you can see the increase is $22,000
Yeah.
approximately. Of that increase, half of that goes to health insurance. And then there's other smaller miscellaneous amounts.
Any further comment about the highway budget?
Money well spent.
Yeah, that's a good comment. Since there's no further discussion, I would request that there a motion be made to approve both the highway budget and the general budget.
I will make a motion to approve general budget and the highway budget.
Do I have a second?
I shall.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Well, I just wanted to say that, we had 3 meetings to go over all of this. The public was welcome to come and join us at 7:30 and
AM.
a.m.
And 11 a.m.
Yes, and we really did have a chance to have all of this laid out. So we weren't making it up tonight. I was just wanting our audience to know.
That's a good thing.
I'm sorry, who seconded that? Did we have a
Miranda
second?
seconded.
I might only add that we put the amounts in specifically.
I am doing that.
And
We
you
do
can
that.
do that.
We
Thank
do
you.
that every year. That is something
Well, as
that-
part of the motion.
That is
Excellent.
correct.
Thank you.
What do you mean put the amounts in?
Put whatever the amounts are specifically into the
Yeah.
motion. We approve.
Oh,
the
I see.
town-
Okay, he's doing the, okay.
So for
So it's very specific.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. That's good.
So for the select board, that would be $988,215 is
To be raised.
to be raised through taxes.
215, correct.
And for the highway department,
1,020,911.
nope, that is going to be $874,461. Do you see that?
Yes. It's right here.
Because the other,
Oh, you're right, I'm sorry, because of the state aid.
yep, the state aid and the
Yes.
other revenues.
I apologize.
Nope.
Okay, now that we have that clarified, there's a motion on the table. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, and congratulations to Peter and the Select Board for another year of budget.
And for a decrease in the annual
And
budget,
a
yes.
decrease in the annual budget.
Right.
Good night, Dan.
Thank you for your
Thanks
effort
for
in
being
doing that
here
budget,
and
Dan.
everything else.
Will do.
All right, on to old business, Brookfield service contract.
Before we get to that, we need to address the Windham Regional Commission Broadband
Oh, yes, I'm
Feasibility
sorry,
Grant because
yes.
that needed to be dealt with.
Yes.
So the select board had a question at the last meeting regarding whether or not a request that they had made for you to include an article on the warrant for the town meeting day was necessary for this year in order to participate in the upcoming grant that they have the feasibility grant that they have. And the answer is no, it is not required. However, what they would like is for a consensus from the select board by having a motion to participate in the feasibility grant. So that shows our express interest. In order for it to move forward, they need interest from a certain percentage of the towns. And so would put it before you that to consider having a motion to participate in their feasibility grant.
I'd like to have a motion that says that. Would anybody like to make it that motion?
You can make the motion if you wish.
Okay, I would like to motion that the select board expresses its enthusiasm for seeking for WRC to seek a grant.
They've already received it.
Oh,
It's
they
to
received it.
participate in their grant.
To participate in the grant. To
Second.
increase broadband access.
Second.
So needed.
Yes. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Let's hope that that goes somewhere. Okay, now on to
Service
the
contract?
service contract.
So, two things that you folks requested. Actually, technically three, if we want to get specific. One was you asked... What?
Let's.
Okay, let's. So the
But not
first...
two.
The first of the three items you asked me to inquire about was whether or not, so Brookfield Service had given a specific deadline which this contract needed to be approved by
Right.
to get a lower amount. They have extended that to tomorrow. And the other thing that you wanted me to inquire, the second thing you wanted me to inquire about was whether or not the Vermont State inspections was required and whether or not it was included in the once annual versus the biannual inspections. Yes, it is required. No, it was not included.
Okay.
So that would increase the price of the contract by $400. It's $100 per inspection, and we have 4 units. The third thing that you folks requested of me was to try one more time to see if I could get a proposal from Powers Generator, which we have received.
Oh, wow, okay.
So Powers
The
Generator...
plot thickens.
It does thicken. So the service contract for a once-a-year maintenance for all 4 generators from Brookfield Service would be $1,953.
And that
includes the Vermont State inspection.
And that's per year.
Yes, that is per year. For all of the exact same offering, for all 4 generators, once a year, including the state inspection from Powers Generator, is $1,695.
Well,
1,600 what?
$95. You can see right here.
And I'm sorry that I'm confused, but who's doing it now, Brookfield or?
No, the past 2 years we have had Powers Generator.
Okay, so,
So,
That's all
and
4.
that's all 4.
One more time.
Yep. And all 4 generators are listed on the contract proposal. When I spoke to the contract manager over at Powers, she actually offered to extend this price for an additional year if that enticed you to agree to their agreement.
and we're satisfied with their work.
We've been very satisfied with Powers Generator.
I think it's-
Their response has been within 24 hours when we call them with a problem. They go above and beyond. They found an issue with the generator over at church last summer. They came, started repairing it, didn't have the part in stock. That was on a Friday. They sent their repair technician out on Saturday and finished the job without charging us extra for overtime.
Okay, so.
We're enticed.
We're enticed by Powers, aren't we?
Yes, I think, would it be...
You're welcome to look at the contracts if you
Yeah,
wish.
should-
Are the part piece of the contracts all the same? Meaning,
Yep.
supplies?
Yep.
So I'm looking for a motion for Powers. Do we need a motion?
You do need a motion because you've got to make a decision between one or the other. And all of you folks need to agree on one of them. So,
I know who I'm going for.
Well, yeah, no, I'll make a
Well,
motion that we, go with Powers on this. And honestly, I'd make a 2-year motion personally and just
Sure.
lock it in. To me, there's no reason
they
not
made
to.
the offer, both over the phone and
Smart.
via email.
I can't wait to talk to them because those aren't the numbers that I get. So that's wonderful.
Okay, so we have a motion that is
So-
2 years with Powers at $16.95.
I'll second.
And is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Then your motion carries unanimously, and I thank you.
and thank you, Peter, for your diligence.
Save the town $300 and some odd dollars, Peter. Well done.
All right, moving right on. We need to go into executive session.
No, we have to do...
Oh,
No,
sorry.
not yet.
I'm just jumping the gun here.
You are excited for that. We've got our finance warrants first.
I was thinking that we'd do the
Michael, did you
executive
second
session
that one?
before that,
Yes.
but,
We would have to change the
We would have to
order.
change the order of the agenda.
If you wish to change the order, someone can make a motion.
Or do you want to just get the finance warrants over with? Yeah, okay.
You want me to
Gordon
go?
is raring to go.
I will do the finance warrants. So I will make a motion to pay the following payroll week ending 12/29/19 for $7,216.90. Payroll week ending 1/5/20 for $7,224.32. Payroll week ending 1/12/20 for $6,773.85. Expense warrant number 2013 for $42,385.76. And expense warrant number FW13 for $24.50, for a grand total of $63,625.33.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Okay, and a discussion.
And the only discussion I would like to add on expense warrant number 2013, the key elements of that were salt at about 9,200, sand at about 9,000, diesel at about 6,800, and our VMER's retirement number, which was about 4,700. So that made up the predominant pieces of that, 42,000.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Do you want to move executive session, or are you going to do?
No, we'll
No,
go,
we'll
why
just
don't we
do it.
finish? You want to do communications
Okay,
next,
sure,
or executive
yep.
section?
We have one communication from AIDS Project of Southern Vermont. They sent you a thank you letter for their renewed annual support.
Great.
Great, thank you.
Now, I don't think, I know I'm supposed to say something about the number that we're, oh, executive
Do
session.
you want to discuss the summary of actions from the
Oh, yes,
previous meeting?
please.
So you folks approved the minutes. You requested me to contact Brookfield Service about the contract extension and inspection. You approved the updates to the personnel policy, and you approved the warrants.
Okay. Now, just a question about this, because this is very good, and it's good to have these actions, but do these actions match the actions that were put in the minutes? Because they do, right?
They were a direct transfer over.
Okay, excellent.
And then regarding your executive session, the first is we need a motion that premature knowledge of discussions could potentially put the town at risk. And before you read the next one, is this something you want me to participate in, or would you like me to step out?
I don't know, it's an employee, it's not a controversial issue necessarily,
Okay, it's up to the select board. I have participated in some personnel discussions in the past, and I have been asked to step out on others, so it's up to you, Mr. Chair.
If you don't mind, why don't you absent yourself?
Okay, then
Okay.
let me just correct the,
And I say that because of to protect the confidentiality.
that's
of
fine.
the employee.
No explanation needed. It is at your discretion. All right, so first action is the first one we have here, so if you could make it, in fact, if you wish.
I move that premature knowledge of discussions could potentially put the town at significant disadvantage. As per.
Nope, that's for the next one.
Yeah.
It just, disadvantage, period.
Period, and then I need a
So
second
you need
for
a
that.
second, yep.
I will second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
Okay. And then your second one, which you could also make if you
Okay.
wish.
Does anyone else want to make it, or are you satisfied with me making
I'm
it?
satisfied.
Okay, I make a motion to enter into executive session at 7:30 exactly PM to discuss personnel matters per 1 VSA 313A1.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. This will be very short, I think. The Guilford Selectboard is coming out of executive session at 7:38 PM, and we have taken no action.
And now, your favorite time of the evening.
Oh, yes. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I will make a motion to
I
adjourn.
would second that.
Is there any discussion?
Let's sing and dance.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously, and thank you very much, Guilford Select Board.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.